When you go to a game in any sport, you expect the home fans to dislike the visiting team. And you expect the visiting fans to dislike the home team. But have you ever gone to a game where the home fans dislike the home team? My name is Howie. This is Positively Portugal. Let's get into it. So I took a trip to Vila das Aves for the AVS experience. And I'm glad I went. It was something I needed to see as a football fan. I would not go back there. I would not make that trip again. Maybe next season if Vitoria's there, but probably not. It was an experience like none other. So sit back and try to enjoy my trip to Aves. All right, well, we are finally in Vila das Aves. I got delayed on the train for 35 minutes. Something broke down. There is not a lot going on in this area here. And this is like one of the most common parts of Aves. I don't know how a first division football club exists here. I'm outside of the main bar here. I really need a beer or 5 after this harrowing experience of getting here from Guimarães. But we'll be back in a little while. All right, so I am literally in hell right now. This is one of the worst stadiums I have ever been to. Now, you can't really, well, maybe you can see it a little bit here. It's one of those stadiums that's so old, it has a track going around the field, or the pitch, if I was in the UK or Ireland. But they put artificial turf to cover the track to make it look a little less shitty. There is natural grass on the field, but that grass looks like it's badly in need of a mowing. You can see some scenery, some hills. I don't think they're really rolling hills, but this is a horrible stadium. And I don't think very much of the town either. It's called Vila das Aves, and I've been to a nice villa. Vila Nova de Gaia next to Porto is absolutely beautiful. You could easily live there. Yeah, unless you're from here, you could not live in Vila das Aves. There's just no way. There's nothing going on here at all. That being said, nothing wrong with the people. I had lunch at a place called Sampaio, and the guy behind the counter spoke perfect English. He was originally from Germany, but he's lived in Aves forever. God only knows why. He said about 50% of the people, one half, support this club, and the other half don't because it's an SAD. It's very hard for me to explain what an SAD is. It's kind of like when a corporate entity takes over the club and they do all sorts of shit with it. In this case, the SAD took over, I'm going to say this incorrectly, Vila Frankense, and moved them to Aves. I don't even know if the original club in Aves exists anymore or if they're toiling around in some lower division. But what I can tell you is the last game that they played here, which was on a Monday night, I believe, against Gil Vicente, they had 726 people here. And don't think that that was an anomaly. The game before that, they had 1,262. The only way that this stadium is getting any revenue is when one of the bigger clubs comes to visit, like Porto. They had like 5,000 people here. The stadium only holds 8,560. But you could pretty much sit wherever the hell you want for this game. This is just complete nonsense. There is nobody here. AVS, this new club in Aves, they're not going to be in existence after they get relegated. And the reason why is they're only staying afloat because of teams like Porto coming to visit, Vitória, Braga, and to a lesser extent the teams from Lisbon, Sporting and Benfica. But once they get relegated, those fans aren't coming here, because why would you? This is one of those places where not only does the club stink, the team stinks, but there's no charm in this stadium, there's no charm in this town, there's no reason to come to Aves. I don't even know why I'm here. The round-trip train ticket only cost €4.40, and I think I got ripped off because we got delayed by 35 minutes when the train broke down. The ticket was €5. I got it through Continente, and please don't start in on me like I shouldn't be supporting an SAD. Yeah, nobody should be supporting an SAD, but for God's sake, half the money probably went to Continente, and the other half, it ain't gonna save this club from going out of business. This is a rarity. This club will not be in existence in 5 years. I can assure you that. Maybe even earlier if they get relegated, and they might. They're only 1 point ahead of the relegation playoff. So it's a distinct possibility. I don't want to say that I wasted my time, wasted my money. It was an interesting experience, just getting to talk to that guy in Sampaio. Really good guy. But holy shit, I'm never coming back to Aves. If I tell my friends in Guimarães that I went to Aves, they're going to look at me like I escaped from a mental institution. Well, we're going to sit here and we're going to try to enjoy this game. It's AVS against Santa Clara. There's not going to be a single person from Santa Clara who made the trip from the Azores to make this. I'd be stunned. I mean, I've seen several games where there were no away fans in Guimarães to play against Vitória. So if nobody's going to Guimarães, you could rest assured nobody is coming to Aves. But unless I can think of another reason to pick this up here, I guess I'll see you when I'm back in Guimarães. Well, apparently Mariano Rivera is in the house. So you see that tunnel over there where the players are coming out of? About 10 minutes ago, some guy in Santa Clara was going down and nearly broke his damn neck. With every minute that passes, I'm more and more depressed. I used to think that there was a clown show going on at Vitória, and in many circumstances there are. But this is ridiculous. I better stop this video before I get demonetized because it's music playing. Well, they stopped playing Metallica, now they're playing some bullshit. And I don't think I'll get demonetized for this bullshit. Oh my god, I want to go home. I want to go back to Guimarães. This is awful. There's just nothing good about this. This has no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Vamos lá, Vila das Aves, começar a aquecer para este grande jogo nesta tarde. Aqui.
Nothing but pure excitement here in Vila das Aves. My question here is, how does the Portuguese Football Federation, or whatever it's called, allow this to happen? When are they going to learn with these SADs that it doesn't work? BSAD failed. They merged with some other team, Hova, something or other. Who the hell knows? And they're playing in a regional league. I don't know if it's a Lisbon Regional League or a Setúbal Regional League now. This is dreadful. There's not even a scoreboard. I've never seen anything like this. There is no scoreboard. Oh, no, there is. It's behind me. My bad. This is just beyond embarrassing. I mean, I'm glad I went, because in a few years, nobody will have that option once this team folds. Dear God. Wow. Okay, we are at the train station here in Vila das Aves. I'm waiting for the bus, pardon me, the train to get back to Guimarães. I wish I was waiting for the bus, seeing how poorly the train service was getting here. 35-minute delay. This was a bad experience. Everything from the train getting here to the miserable, god-awful stadium to the atmosphere there, I can't blame the fans. And just the town itself, nothing to visit. It's probably not a nice place to live. I don't like saying that because the people were friendly. But holy shit, this was not worth it. I was wrong. There were a handful of people from the Azores there to see Santa Clara. I cannot, for the life of me, imagine making that trip from the Azores, flying to Porto, and then getting a train to Aves. I just can't fathom that. But people did it. There were 10 to 15 ultras. I use that word very loosely because, yes, they were singing for most of the game, and one of them had the drum, but AVS is 2 to 3 years old. I cannot believe that they would have any ultras for a club with no tradition, no history, and really no soul. So I'm wondering if those 10 to 15 ultras were employees of the club, were employees of whatever corporation is now in charge there, or if they're just regular people from Aves and the club said, okay, well, we'll pay for your season tickets if you just act like ultras. Most of the fans in attendance were just sitting there silently, like medicated mental patients. And I guess they were longing for the good old days where it was CD Aves. I guess that's Club Desportivo Aves. And I think a lot of these people want to like AVS, but they don't because they can't. There's no soul to this club. It was easily the most depressing football experience I've ever sat through. I've been to stadiums in the United States with a more lively atmosphere for a soccer match than what I just saw. And I'm not just talking MLS, I'm talking the second division, the USL. And this has gone on a few times in Portuguese football, and at some point, the governing body there has to put their foot down. They can't allow this to happen. What I saw in a first division stadium was absolutely pathetic. There were less than 1,000 people there. Well, less than 1,000 people. If the attendance figures come out and it says more than 1,000, that's a load of crap. There were not 1,000 people in that stadium. And again, that stadium holds 8,560. And I'm sure it came off much worse on television than it did in person. And Portugal has to stop allowing that. You cannot allow a club that has no soul to represent your top league, your top division, because it just looked absolutely ridiculous. The few fans that made their way from the Azores to support Santa Clara were more passionate than the home fans. And again, I can't blame the fans. This is not their club. The SAD is not the club that they grew up supporting. I can't really imagine that they were all that passionate about the original club. And again, I don't know if this original club is even in existence anymore. But Aves is now represented by an SAD. They're not liked in their hometown, and they're hated throughout Portugal. So, we're going to wrap things up here. I hope the next road trip is a lot more pleasant. I mean, it would be virtually impossible to not be a lot more pleasant than what I just sat through. So if you want more videos about moving to Portugal, the process of getting there, Portuguese football, anything Portugal related, please like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell for notifications. These are the best things you could do to help a content creator on YouTube. I want to thank you all for watching, and this time when I say it, it actually has some meaning. Força Vitória.